Since March 1959, SeaWorld parks and entertainment have been a fun and interactive way for children and adults to learn about sea life, including orcas, dolphins, and even penguins. For years, people have enjoyed the way they mix fun and interactiveness with roller coasters, cotton candy, the typical amusement park. However, much recent debate has been arising about SeaWorld with the recent death of trainer Don Brancho and documentaries like the film Blackfish. Today we will be discussing the film Blackfish, PETA, and the trainers of SeaWorld. My main sources for today's speech are coming directly from the film and website Blackfish, ABC World News, and PETA.com. Until recently, SeaWorld had been doing perfectly fine. They had really high stocks, ticket sales were great, so what changed? On January 19, 2013, a film by documentarist Gabriella Copperthwaite released at the coveted Sundance Film Festival called Blackfish. The film focuses on one whale in particular called Telecom and compiles shocking details about the way the whales are treated at SeaWorld and the trainers that work with them. SeaWorld stock has decreased. On March 6, 2014, their stock was at $35 a share, but as of December 11, 2014, their stock has decreased to $16.02. That is just $18.98 difference in 9 months. The film included first-hand encounters from former trainers at SeaWorld that the whales could be dangerous. One former trainer in the documentary details of over 70 incidences that the whales and trainers had aggression towards one another. One focuses specifically on Alex Martinez, a trainer in Spain who was killed in December of 2009 while working with an orca on loan from SeaWorld. Two examples also come from SeaWorld San Diego, as a trainer in 2006 was held underwater for nearly 6 minutes, and another one was critically injured after an orca jumped on him and basically crushed him. The film is just the beginning for SeaWorld's troubles. People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, also known as PETA, came out in full force after the release of the movie. PETA offers a wide range of anti-SeaWorld merchandise and has been known to picket outside all 3 of the SeaWorld parks to dismay from parkgoers from attending. Their main source of displeasure is simple: the way that the orcas are treated while in captivity. Orcas in the wild normally live between 30 and 50 years. Their maximum lifespan is between 60 and 70 years for males and 80 to over 100 for the females. However, the average lifespan of an orca living in captivity at SeaWorld is just 13 years old. If you have ever been to a SeaWorld park, you'll notice that the dorsal fins are either bent or completely collapsed. The trainers will often make it known that this is perfectly normal and that all whales have that. However, PETA is adamant to prove that untrue. According to their website, bent dorsal fins are caused by the whales living somewhere that is completely unnatural and hardly ever seen in the wild. All adult male orcas in captivity have collapsed dorsal fins, while only 1 to 5% of them have them in the wild. Another point made by the environmentalist group claims that Pool World, as they call it, do not provide the animals adequate enough space to swim around. Dolphins and orcas in the wild can swim up to 100 miles a day, while the space provided at SeaWorld, they claim, would be similar to a human living in a bathtub for their life. Since the park's opening, the main concern has not only been on the animals, but the trainers that work with them from day to day. From the film Blackfish, viewers will see numerous instances where the orcas seem to be getting aggressive with their trainers. One truly terrifying comes from a scene where the orca is holding the trainer by the foot and pulling him repeatedly under the water until he can manage to get away. Don Brancho was not so lucky. Dawn was a 40-year-old trainer at SeaWorld and absolutely loved her job. She'd worked with the animals for years and had never had any problems with them. However, on February 24, 2010, Dawn was tragically killed by Telecom, the main whale in the film Blackfish. Autopsy reports concluded that the orca was so violent with Brancho that part of her scalp was forcibly torn from her head. ABC News stated that Brancho was with the killer whale and had just petted him on the nose during a performance. However, in a scene that horrified onlookers, Telecom pulled her by her ponytail into the water and started throwing her around in his mouth. Her injuries included a fractured lower jaw, fractured vertebrae, and fractured ribs. She also dislocated her left elbow and her left ear and had scrapes and bruising on her right ear. OSHA has since banned all trainers being in the water with any of the animals at SeaWorld. They have to be behind a barrier because it's been deemed unsafe to be in the water with the animals. The film also goes on to account that most of SeaWorld's trainers are not even trained marine biologists. A lot of them were hired as tank cleaners or other positions before they were asked to be performers. They're not trainers. Let's review what we've just learned. Today we've talked about a few things about SeaWorld that I'm sure not a lot of us knew about. We talked about blackfish and the effect that it had on SeaWorld's economy, PETA and some scary truths about orca whales, and the trainers at SeaWorld and how many changes have affected the way they operate. I don't want any of us to think that SeaWorld is a corporation ran by monsters, as many people have enjoyed it for years. However, the next time you do decide to go to the park, just ask yourself, would you like to be encased in a bathtub for all of your life? That is all.
Good job.
1 minute and 28 seconds.
What?
5:28.
5 minutes, 28 seconds.
Very good.
Sweaty.
You did great.
Are you